Okay, we're live.
Okay. Please rise as you are able. I now call this meeting of City Council to order. Okay. Please rise as you are able.
We acknowledge that this meeting is taking place in the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people. The Anishinaabe include the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We're dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. Please be seated. Okay, welcome to our virtual city council meeting. We are observing distancing and meeting virtually due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The first item on the agenda for the council meeting is confirmation of the minutes from June 28th. Does anyone have any corrections to the minutes that have been circulated? Seeing none, the minutes are adopted as printed and circulated. We have no awards and recognition or report from officers, but we do have two long-suffering deputants who have been waiting since, at least 8 o'clock. Thank you to Kathy Kolbach and Arlene McCann. That being said, I do need to ask the clerk whether we have received any requests for emergency deputations on any of the matters on General Committee's agenda earlier tonight.
No, Mayor Lehman, we have not.
Okay. So I will now call on both deputations are on item for discussion 8.9, the single tree bylaw. The first is from Kathy Kolbach. Ms. Kolbach, we do apologize for the very long wait to get to this, but welcome to City Council, and you have 5 minutes for your deputation.
Thank you so much. Can I say the computer ate my homework? I can't find my deputation, so I'm going to wing it. I just wanted to say really a few comments about, I'd like to thank Councillor Jim Harris for bringing this forward. I think it's certainly long overdue and unfortunately came about due to an unfortunate circumstance that happened here in Allendale. I did want to also say that, part of the Allendale Neighborhood Association and Heritage Berries mandates are to educate, preserve, and protect. That's built form, natural landscapes, and any other heritage information. So that's very important to us. And at the end of July, the Allendale Neighborhood Association did write a letter to Ms. Miller, Ms. Banfield, Mayor Lehman, and council members sort of describing what had happened. And we know that that was an unfortunate incident. But we're hoping that through doing potential changes, whether they be through permitting and planning or through bylaw changes, that we hope that we can avoid this kind of incident from happening again. And the other thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to talk a little bit about border trees in the historic neighborhoods. So in our historic neighborhoods, which include Ward 1, 2, 3, 8, and maybe into Ward 4, I'm not sure. But if you wander down any of our streets, what you'll see, and what Mayor Lehman has seen in my own backyard, is the property and boundary markers of the trees that were here before the homes were built. So, you know, some of these trees are 120, 125 years old. I've got a big red oak next door to me that's more than 10 feet in circumference. And they actually mark the borders. So fences were either built on either side. Sometimes a fence, you know, stops halfway on one side of the tree and starts on another side. These need to be protected, and not just from excavation and accidents occurring when there's dwellings or accessory units or swimming pools being built. We need to really look at how we address this through the permitting process, I would say. So I just wanted to sort of touch base on that. Arlene, your next deputant, is maybe going to go into more detail, but I wondered with the staff report that comes back, whether there would be an opportunity, I don't know, to work with staff or create a subcommittee that could include professional landscape architect, urban forestry people, members of the public, Living Green, Allendale Neighborhood Association, etc. I think it's important to have some public engagement around this as well. And in, you know, maybe just in closing, I'm wondering if there's, while we wait for the staff report to come back, if there's anything that can be done sort of immediately to prevent this from happening. And I'm not sure whether, you know, whether there can be in the permitting of, you know, right now when somebody has to go to the Committee of Adjustment, that seems to be when, or goes to Committee of Adjustment for a variance on something, that's when you're asked for a tree inventory and a tree protection plan. But yet when you want to build something that follows the zoning bylaw, you're not asked to do that. So that's a little bit confusing. And I think that we could do something sort of really quickly with that. But I will leave that up to the powers to be. And I think that's all I really had to say. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone had any.
Okay, thanks very much for your deputation, Kathy. Any questions of the deputant? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much for coming, giving us your perspective, as always, and especially thank you for a long wait. We appreciate you bearing with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our second deputation tonight is from Arlene McCann on the same matter. Ms. McCann, welcome to Barrie City Council, and in accordance with our procedural bylaw, you have up to 5 minutes to give us your deputation.
Thank you very much, Mayor and councillors, for agreeing to listen to my deputation, especially at this late hour after you've been at it for hours and hours there. The text of my speech was emailed to many of you, and thank you very much for responding. Many of you did. The email contains additional information not included in my speech today. 75% of the trees in Barrie are on private property. 90% of the properties in Barrie are eligible for detached secondary dwelling construction. These two facts put 2/3 of the city of Barrie's trees in danger. On July 5th, surveyors were present at 34 Burton Ave, our side yard neighbor. Not 1 hour later, a bulldozer and excavator began ripping up the roots of St. George Anglican Church Black Walnut and my Norway Spruce. Due to the city's lack of regulations regarding detached second dwellings, there was not a thing I could do to stop it. This lack of regulation has left me hat in hand, hoping that the owner will develop a conscience and compensate us for the monetary loss. But nothing can compensate for the loss of the two trees, a century old. I've lived my life in Barrie, first in Painswick and then in Old Allendale. And at present, I am disappointed at our city's lack of protection for both its citizens' property and for our tree canopy. While other communities are considering incentives to encourage landowners to retain their trees, our city doesn't even offer protection for our trees. At present, detached second dwellings are not required to do the following: give notice to neighbors, conduct a tree inventory, conform to best practices when excavating. These are, however, requirements for a building permit for a house that is not governed under the detached second dwelling umbrella. Also not required to have a site inspection at the excavation stage. At present, there's a pit that's at least 15 feet deep and approximately 35 by 40 feet that encompasses 90% of the backyard of 34 Burton Avenue. And it sat idle since July 9th. And I encourage you to take a look at the pictures at the bottom of the PDF that show that. 10-foot piles of sand line one edge of the pit that is eroding more with each rainstorm. The fencing is sagging and does not encircle the sand piles. The Ministry of Labor inspector that visited the site stated that it is illegal for workers to be in that excavated pit. The city has also been notified of this danger, but to date, no corrections have been made to fix these safety concerns. As I have said to any officials who will listen, a child playing on these sand piles could easily end up in the bottom of the pit with sand burying them. In your own limit of tree preservation for development approvals, the rules are clearly stated, but none of them were applied in this case. To simplify, the walnut has had all of its roots on the east side severed. The spruce has had 70% of the roots on the north side severed, and the 30% remaining are buried under 10 feet of wet sand, rendering them useless. This 100-foot tree that leans southeast has had all of its roots on the north side either severed or compromised, thus rendering the tree a safety hazard. Your own City of Barrie rules know this. Major damage to a tree shall mean any one of the exposure, severing, or compaction to more than 25% of the root area. The owner and developer of the property of 34 Burton Ave has not actually broken any of the city bylaws that we are aware of at this present time. The city's lack of foresight has resulted in, at conservative estimates, $27,000 in damages. I've been repeatedly told by various city officials that to receive compensation, I need to take the owner to court myself. When speaking to city officials, I have been told that not everyone wants regulations put in place. This is quite true. I encourage city officials to view the YouTube monthly episodes by the developer of this property, in which he is laughing at how upset the neighbors get when his buildings are a foot away from their property line. I also encourage you to view how he is laughing at you, the city planners and council, at how slow you are to make the changes. He is encouraging property owners to get in on this deal of creating buildings with full basements that with forward thinking can hold second illegal tenants. Additional construction sites in these videos clearly show that they too lack shoring on the sides of the excavation. He acknowledges outright that these buildings do not fulfill the affordable housing mandate. $2,800 to $3,500 is his suggested rent rates for these 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes that have received $30,000 plus in grants that increase profit margins, but do not increase the number of affordable homes. If these buildings are not helping provide affordable homes, why are they being built with the help of our tax money? To be clear, I am not against creating affordable housing. I am not against smaller slab-on-grade dwellings that does not kill the surrounding trees. I too have worried about the urban sprawl that is destroying what little prime agricultural land we have in Ontario. Our tree canopy can be preserved while simultaneously creating housing that is truly affordable. The examples I have given of the severe damage to my tree and the St. George's Anglican Church tree are but 2 examples of what's already happening elsewhere and will continue to happen. 93,000 trees are on private property within the city limits. As I've already said, 90% of residential properties have been and continue to be at this moment eligible for detached second dwellings. These combined facts put 83,700 trees in harm's way. In discussions with city officials, I have been suggesting an emergency injunction be put in place to stop the approval of any more detached second dwellings until regulations are in place to protect our tree canopy and our neighborhoods. The response, but Arlene, where is the emergency? I would say that putting over 83,000 of our trees in jeopardy during this time of imminent climate crisis is an emergency. Thank you for listening, and I welcome any questions you may have.
Thank you very much for your deputation, Ms. McCann, and the personal experience that you're bringing to council's consideration of this tonight. Are there any questions for the deputant? Okay, seeing none, thank you again, Ms. McCann, for being here and for giving us that benefit of your difficult experience and your recommendations. We will move now to the committee reports. Deputy Mayor Ward, I believe you have the motions.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section A of the General Committee report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section A of the General Committee report dated August 9th, 2021 be adopted. These are the consent items from earlier tonight. Any comments or questions on Section A? Seeing none, those in favor of Section A, please indicate. Anybody opposed? None. That carries unanimously. Section B, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section B of the General Committee report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section B of the General Committee report dated August 9th, 2021 be adopted. This is the first 3 paragraphs on the Canada Day matter. The first 3 paragraphs. Comments or questions? Section B. Seeing none, those in favor of Section B, please indicate. Any opposed? None. That carries. Section C, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section C of the General Committee report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section C of the General Committee report dated August 9th be adopted. This is paragraph 4. Councillor Natalie Harris, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. I will abstain from this vote. Recommendations from the Integrity Commissioner is that I don't vote on topics surrounding the Barrie Police Service.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, has Councillor Harris's potential interest been recorded?
Yes, Mayor Lehman, it has.
Thank you very much. Comments or questions on Section C? Seeing none, those in favor of Section C, please indicate. Unanimous by those voting. Including myself. Section D, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section D of the General Committee report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section D of the General Committee report dated August 9th, 2021 be adopted. This is with regards to a quick start for affordable housing projects on institutional lands. Comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Those in favor? Any opposed? None. That carries. Section E, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section E of the General Committee report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section E of the General Committee report dated August 9th, 2021 be adopted. This is with regards to maintaining or cutting grass on municipal boulevards. This says the referral. Yes, so the referral motion is the first part. I didn't think we'd pass the referral motion. I thought we simply defeated paragraph 1. My apologies, Madam Clerk, but I don't know that this motion is correct. You're on mute.
Sorry, Mayor Lehman. We prepared them quite quickly, so my apologies. We missed that one, so it should not be there. It's only paragraph 2.
Okay, so Deputy Mayor Ward, can you withdraw Section E?
I will withdraw it.
Okay, so Section E is withdrawn. Go ahead with Section F.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section F of the General Committee report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
Okay, it's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Section F of the General Committee report dated August 9th be adopted. This is to conduct the investigation into naturalized boulevard gardens.
Point of order, Mayor.
Yes.
I believe the first paragraph was referred, was it not?
Sorry, Councillor Irwin, even as you're saying that, I think that was my mistake. And I think the clerk actually had it right. Did we refer that to Finance and Corporate Services? The referral on...
We're all back to tape.
I can't remember.
Yeah, we're moving quickly here. Councillor Riepma was your item. You probably remember better than anyone.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did refer it to Finance Committee.
That motion did pass. It was 7-3. You're quite correct. I had remembered that we had defeated it. And my apologies, members of council. That's entirely my fault. Deputy Mayor Ward.
I will reintroduce it. Are we voted on the other one yet or not?
No, we haven't voted on the other one. And so my apologies, members of council. That's me. It was 7-3 in favor. So it's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section E of the General Committee report dated August 9th be adopted. This is the referral motion of the first paragraph to Finance and Corporate Services Committee regarding maintaining grass on municipal boulevards. Sorry about the confusion. Everyone's clear. I'll call the question. Those in favor? Anybody opposed? One. Okay, that does carry. Section F, Deputy Mayor Ward.
By myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section F of the General Committee Report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Section F of the General Committee Report dated August 9th be adopted. This is the naturalized boulevard gardens, paragraph 2 of that motion regarding municipal boulevards. Comments or questions on Section F? Seeing none, those in favor, please indicate. Anyone opposed? One abstention. Okay, that carries. Section G, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section G of the General Committee Report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Section G of the General Committee Report dated August 9th be adopted. This is the item regarding the request from the Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit for consent to get a line of credit. Comments or questions on Section G? Seeing none, I'll call for a recorded vote on this item, please. Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. I'm going to start with Councillor Rietma,
Yes.
Councillor Aylwin,
Yes.
Councillor Kungle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Ward,
Yes.
Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Councillor Natalie Harris,
Yes.
Councillor Harvey,
Yes.
Councillor Jim Harris,
Yes.
Councillor Morales,
Yes.
Councillor McCann,
Yes.
and Mayor Lehman.
Yes.
Vote carries unanimously.
Thank you. Section H, Deputy Mayor Ward.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section H of the General Committee Report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section H, the General Committee Report dated August 9th be adopted. This is the motion regarding the overcoming the effects of colonization, discrimination, and racism, on Indigenous communities related to Water First. It is just the second paragraph, which is what we passed. Comments or questions on Section H? Okay, seeing none, those in favor, please indicate. Opposed? None, that carries. Section I, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section I of the General Committee Report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section I of the General Committee Report dated August 9th be adopted. This is with regards to the single tree bylaw. Comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call it. Those in favor? Any opposed to this item? None. That carries. Section J, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section J of the General Committee Report dated August 9, 2021 be received.
Thank you. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Section J of the General Committee Report dated August 9th be received. This is the appointments to the Arts Advisory and Council Compensation Review Committees. Comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor of Section J? Anyone opposed? None. That carries. Section K.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section K of the General Committee Report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section K of the General Committee Report be adopted. This is the this is the actual appointments. The previous was the report. So yeah, this is the actual appointments. Comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor? Any opposed? None. That was adopted as opposed to received. And the next one is Section L, Deputy Mayor Ward.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section L of the General Committee Report dated August 9, 2021 be received.
Thank you. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Section L of the General Committee Report dated August 9th be received. This is the plan related to an application to host the Canadian Men's Curling Championships. Comments or questions? This is to be received. It's to receive the confidential. Those in favor of Section L? Any opposed to receiving? None. That carries. Section M is the motion. Go ahead.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section M of the General Committee Report dated August 9, 2021 be adopted.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that Section M of the General Committee Report dated August 9th be adopted. Same matter. This is the motion for adoption. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor of Section M? Or any opposed? None. That carries. Thank you. For that, Deputy Mayor Ward, we have no deferred business or direct motions on tonight's agenda. We have no presentations, obviously. It brings us to inquiries. Deputy Mayor Ward, do you have any inquiries of staff?
I have none.
Councillor Natalie Harris.
Sorry, I thought you were saying announcements. I apologize.
Oh, just inquiries for now. Anyone have any inquiries of staff? Councillor Kungle.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. So I'm assuming this is probably not unique to Ward 3, but we are seeing quite a lot of graffiti covering some of our core artery roads, and a lot of questions from staff, to staff. And I want to thank staff for sharing information about leveraging the Pink Street app and also Service Berry, where we can report things that we're seeing for staff to actually go out and correct them. The main question I have for staff, though, is specific to when we're seeing graffiti on Canada Post boxes. And I'm still getting a lot of questions about the process by which the city can facilitate connecting with Canada Post to look at some long-term issue areas. I was hoping staff might be able to identify, again, what the process is for residents, if that's on the shoulders of the residents to reach out to Canada Post about graffiti concerns and some,
Okay,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Just before I answer that, Mr. Fryer, we are going to need a motion to extend past midnight to complete inquiries, announcements, and bylaws. Can I have a motion from a member of council? We will need a seconder. So Councillor Riepma and Councillor Harvey, I saw you. I believe the motion, Madam Clerk, is to set aside the procedural bylaw and allow the meeting to continue past midnight.
Yes, Mayor Lehman.
Okay. Thank you, Councillors Riepma and Harvey. All those in favor of the motion to extend past midnight? Anybody opposed? None? That carries. Mr. Fryery, Councillor Kungle's question, please.
Your Worship and members of committee, I would still continue to use a Pink Street app or Service Berry. Call in, give them the location. We then pass it on to our ROA or municipal consent branch. And what they do is they contact Canada Post or, Electra, anybody who would have municipal furniture on our property. So once again, just call in and then we will make the arrangements. If they don't get any satisfaction, they typically take a little bit longer than we do, but they can follow up, and if they want to, there's also a service number for Canada Post as well. They can call into them as well. I know that they have done some wraps in the past as well, which assists in mitigating or preventing graffiti. But since they own it, that's up to them.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, I follow up. From a timeline, because I am speaking with residents who feel like they've had some chronic issue areas for quite a lengthy time. Is there a typical timeline, and would we ever, as a city, initiate support to escalate it or intervene if there's been over a year delay in responsiveness? Is there a way to track that or help residents get some type of response?
Mr. Fryer.
Your Worship and members of committee, absolutely. If you call into Service Berry or Pink Street, they will have it on file. So they will have an area or an address that has been documented, and we would be happy to sort of follow up with whoever the utility is.
Thank you, Mr. Fryery. That's everything.
Thanks, Councillor Congo. Any other inquiries of staff, members of council? Councillor Morales.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. Mr. Fryery, what's going on with the intersection of St. Vincent and Penetang? On the north side of St. Vincent, there seems to be, how usually there's a sinkhole, so whatever the reverse of that is, it kind of just lifts it up. It's had cones and other things kind of like surrounding it probably since March, April. I'm just wondering what's going on with that infrastructure there.
Your Worship and members of the committee, I'll have to follow up with staff tomorrow. It could be, as you said, the infrastructure that needs to be repaired. So we can certainly investigate, and I could follow up with an email with you.
Thanks, Mr. Ferrari. Any other inquiries of staff, members of council? Councillor Thompson.
This is more of a comment, but I'll form it in a question. I just want staff to be extremely proud. And I would imagine, Mayor Lehman, you'll mention something about this, but the response for our staff in the tornado was award-winning. And I was proud as a citizen and as a counselor. And it was second, and I know that not very many of the public are watching, but this is more for staff. So don't you think? There's my question.
You know what, I was just going to say that was the first announcement, Councillor Thompson. I mean, we usually let the deputy mayor go first. I was going to say something quick about it, but it is after midnight. So I am going to, I'll save it just for a minute, but thank you very much for saying that, Councillor Thompson. And I could not agree more to the staff on the call. We absolutely took it to the next level in terms of the 120 staff that worked on the weekend from parks, operations, roads, teams to clear the area, and the constant adding of assistance day after day and the follow-up afterwards was truly remarkable. But really the frontline people in the pouring rain, in the bucket trucks in the middle of the night to put the power back on, I mean, those are the ones who truly were the heroes of the tornado response. But certainly credit to our entire management team for their departments, because, you know, the department has to be good to begin with to be able to respond in the way that they did on June 16th and 17th, the days afterwards. And just members of council, the hour is very late. I won't delay this any longer, but I will say we do need to do a recognition of a number of individuals, both community members and within the corporation and our emergency services and our partners for their work during the Barrie tornado over the last 3 weeks, and especially in the 48 hours after. So more is to come on that. I do have an item coming on the 13th, but we should take the time at council, I think, this fall to recognize folks. And that's why I sent you that email around. Please let me know, especially you, of course, Councillor McCann and Councillor Morales, if there were community members in your ward that we should be recognized. I know that there are a number, and I have a fairly long list already, but please do forward those to me, all members of council. And thanks, Councillor Thompson. You're absolutely right. The corporation's response was just remarkable. Other announcements? Deputy Mayor Ward, did you have any announcements?
I have none.
Members of council, any announcements? Councillor Congle.
Thank you. I'll be brief. I have two announcements. One is just to get information out. The Simcoe County Alliance to End Homelessness identified offering a misting tent this week. In case other councillors and members of the public watching are getting questions often, especially during these heat waves, residents are asking what supports are available to those that don't have shelter or need access. So I am aware that it started today. It's going until Thursday of this week from 9 till 5. Individuals have access to a misting tent to support cooling down. That's offered on Maple across from the bus terminal, and that's in the back parking lot of the Salvation Army. So thanks to those that initiated. Heard it went really well today, but it's nice to see an offering as we've got some hot weather this week, and was quite a relief for those today. My second comment is really Ward 3 specific, and it's a hello to the Marty's gentlemen who are regulars. And so kind of coming into summer and being off of city council and then some of the restrictions lifting has been really lovely to see residents supporting local businesses. And so it's a shout out to them as one example of a spotlight of where it's just so lovely seeing everyone coming back into local businesses and supporting them. And thank you to those that continue to be devoted to local businesses.
Thanks, Councillor Congo. Councillor Rowan.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. Two quick announcements. August 14th, Saturday, August 14th, during Open Air Dunlop at 10 a.m., there's going to be a plant and seed swap at Meridian Place, organized by Sarah Jensen, the new Secretary Treasurer of the Downtown BIA. She's doing some very creative things in that role. So that's Saturday, August 14th, 10 a.m., plant and seed swap. And another announcement, August 19th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's a Thursday, there's going to be a cleanup at Milligan's Pond in partnership with Simcoe County Alliance and Homelessness and Clean Up Barrie. So that's August 19th, 3 p.m. Milligan's Pond. See you there.
Okay, thanks very much, Councillor Owen. Councillor Natalie Harris.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. I just wanted to share on behalf of Ryan's Hope and Mom Stop the Harm and some local advocates in Barrie that August 31st is International Overdose Awareness Day, and there will be a couple things happening on that day. There will, at 9:30 at the Salvation Army parking lot, which is at 16 Bayfield Street, people can gather, and then the group will be walking to Barrie City Hall carrying flags of hope. And the flags of hope are created in memory of people that were lost due to our overdose crisis. At 10 a.m., there will be a ceremony at Barrie City Hall, which includes lowering of the flags in memory of those lost to the toxic drug crisis, a moment of silence followed by words from certain individuals. And in the evening at 8 p.m., there will be a candlelight vigil at Meridian Place. It'll be lit up purple, and there will be some songs of remembrance followed by moments of silence, some other words, and lighting of candles. And as purple is the color of International Overdose Awareness Day, you're definitely invited to wear purple and to tie purple ribbons around your trees in remembrance of these lives lost. And it's very thankful. Thank you to staff who made this possible. With Miss Naylor, the flags of hope will be part of both ceremonies, after which time they will be displayed in the downtown branch of the Barrie Library. So please take the time to go and see these beautiful flags and pay respect to those lives lost. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Councillor Harris. Any other announcements, members of council? Okay, seeing none, I am going to forego the opportunity to make announcements tonight. I don't think there's anything here that is so pressing at 10 after midnight that the folks who stuck with us are going to miss it out. There is lots of information on our webpage, of course, about the current status of our services and summer construction, which we do have some programs starting up soon. I will put in one plug though, and that is for Open Air Dunlop, which will continue every Saturday during the summer months. Traffic will be closed between 5 points of Mulcaster, 5 a.m. to midnight, and there are some more things planned over the course of the summer in terms of dates and times and events. So visit downtownbarrie.ca/Open Air Dunlop. With that, I'll ask for the bylaws.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Thompson, that leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 69 and 70.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 69, Bill 70. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor? Anybody opposed? None? That carries. Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Ward.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Thompson, that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 71, the confirmation bylaw.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 71, confirmation bylaw. Sorry, Ms. Peters, you have your hand up. Was that about something to do with confirmation bylaw? Nope. All good? Okay.
All good.
All good. Okay, go ahead, Deputy Mayor Ward. Sorry.
Good.
No, I've actually read it. So
yes,
I can call a question. Those in favor of the confirmation bylaw? Anybody opposed? None. That carries. Move to adjourn. Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson. We are adjourned at 12:11. Our next meeting is September 13th, General Committee. We will see you then, everyone. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your